What's up, guys? It's Andrew. This is the Grow Real Estate Podcast, and today I'm going to share some thoughts on what I believe may be one of, if not the least talked about, yet most impactful and not in a good way, areas of a real estate agent's business. So today's episode is called Analysis Paralysis, and I just want to dig into this one. I want to start with an anonymous quote I read recently. The greatest remedy for indecision is a decision. So analysis paralysis is a situation where a person is unable to make a decision and perhaps more importantly, take action due to overthinking and analyzing the options or information way too much. It's a common problem that many people face, and it can be frustrating and overwhelming all at the same time. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is analysis paralysis and how does it affect people? Well, analysis paralysis is a state of overthinking where a person gets stuck in the analysis phase of decision making. Instead of taking action and making a decision, they become preoccupied with weighing the pros and cons, doing their research, and considering every single possible scenario or outcome. This can lead to feelings of overwhelm, anxiety, and confusion, which can make it even harder to make a decision. In some cases, people may avoid making a decision altogether, which can lead to missed opportunities and regrets. It sounds like a pretty stressful situation, doesn't it? But I would guess many of you listening to this now have experienced this in the past or deal with this on a regular basis. And guys, my hand's raised here, so I'm walking right alongside of you on that. So what are some common causes of analysis paralysis? Well, there's several factors that can contribute to analysis paralysis. One of the most common is perfectionism. People who are perfectionists tend to set high standards for themselves and often feel like they need to make the perfect decision. Fear can also be a big contributor. They may be afraid of making the wrong decision, which can lead to excessive analysis and overthinking. Other factors that can contribute to analysis paralysis include fear or failure, fear of failure or rejection, a lack of confidence, and a lack of information or knowledge about something. So how can someone overcome analysis paralysis and move to make a decision or take action? Well, there's several strategies that can be helpful in overcoming analysis paralysis. One of the most effective is to set a deadline for making a decision. This can help create a sense of urgency and force you to take action. So let's talk about prospecting in your database for potential new clients. Now, when I got started in real estate and I was working on a team back then, I was working as an ISA or inside sales agent where I was basically calling leads as they were coming into the database. What I found myself doing in an effort to gain a competitive edge maybe, or to be able to have some sort of connection if and when I spoke with these leads, is I was stalking them on Facebook. I was Googling their name just again to see if I could find any information that I might be able to utilize when I had those conversations. And I was literally spending around 10 or 15 minutes a time just to do that research. Well, what I found is by the time I actually made the call, 9 times out of 10, that person didn't even answer. So imagine how much time I was wasting just overthinking the thing in general, as opposed to just picking up the phone and making the call. The best thing you can do is give yourself 10 minutes to organize your database and your thoughts, and then just go. Another strategy is to limit the amount of information you consume. It's really easy to get overwhelmed with information these days, especially with so much of the internet right at our fingertips, but sometimes having too much information can be counterproductive. You may also want to consider seeking the advice of a mentor or a team leader and be open to the strategies they would recommend in performing the task, and then don't overthink it. Just do it. Lastly, it's important to remember that there's no such thing as a perfect decision or action. Every decision has its risks and benefits, and it's impossible to know with certainty what the outcome will be. But making a decision and taking action is certainly better than doing nothing at all. I shared this on another episode that was called The Wise Agent as one of the biggest lessons I've learned in my 10 years in real estate. I'd really encourage you to go back and listen to that one if you can. What are some other resources or tools that can be helpful in overcoming analysis paralysis? Well, there's several resources that can be helpful depending on how much of a stronghold analysis paralysis may have on you. Prayer can definitely help. In Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 6 in the Bible, it says, "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways, know him and he will make your paths straight." Guys, all I'm saying is when you take the burden of making a decision or taking action off yourself and you give it up to God, just watch how he'll move in your life. I think it's also important, as I mentioned earlier, to remain coachable and open to a mentor or a team leader's guidance. These are people that have been there, done that, and got the t-shirt in most cases. And I've seen far too many agents doubt that a certain strategy or practice will work within their own real estate business. And so it's no wonder when that agent actually finally takes action to implement a strategy that it was doomed to fail from the start, right? This probably has more to do with that inner dialogue and self-doubt, of which I could probably do a whole podcast on. All I'm trying to say here is sometimes you just got to get out of your own way. Let me share just a final thought here. I would say that it's important to recognize when you're experiencing analysis paralysis and take steps to overcome it. Remember that making a decision or taking action, even if it's not perfect, is better than not making one at all. John Maxwell said, "The difference between average people and those who achieve great things is their perception of and response to failure." If I've learned anything over the past 10 years in real estate, I've learned that you can't have success without a lot of failure. So make a decision, take action, and fail forward. Guys, if anything resonates with you, I'd love to connect. You can book a call with me at the link in the show notes. In the meantime, I pray blessings over your family and I pray blessings over your business.